said this on my Instagram when I try to tell stories. I feel like a Walmart Jerry Seinfeld. You know, like his he's obviously a genius writer, but he's always like, "What about toilets, huh?" You know, and then he goes on.
Yeah.
But that's like how all my stories begin.
Yeah.
Like why are foods described as like child foods? Besides, like, obviously children's foods.
Like comfort foods or kid
Maybe
foods?
kids. Like,
Okay.
like I love chicken nuggets and boneless wings, and both of those have a very bad rap.
Okay.
If you're an adult and order them.
Yeah, I wanna flip out of that for just a second and comment on something that I just heard the other day about Seinfeld,
Yeah.
about the show. The theme, which is mostly just mouth noises and a bass.
Oh, yeah.
The
theme song.
Yeah. Every time the show started with Jerry doing a monologue, a part of a stand-up routine, the guy actually played it live in the room.
That he was doing the stand-up?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I feel like that's kind of 90s shit.
To get it to match up and,
Yeah.
to have the energy of whatever he was.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And maybe get Jerry in the mood.
I thought it was canned. I thought it was for sure just canned. But apparently not.
That was obviously one of the biggest sitcoms of all time, but that was like one I watched a lot as a kid because I think my parents probably just watched it. I guess everybody probably watched it.
Yeah.
It was just like the show.
I watched it a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think everybody. What was the other one? Frasier.
Frasier, a lot of Frasier.
So like those things were on because my parents. I mean, I was a kid, but you watch it because it's like, sure, there's some adult humor, but it's fairly family friendly shit.
Yeah.
Which isn't like the case anymore. I feel like most things are divided.
Either more kid things or more whatever.
Yeah, or even like Fresh Prince. Like, what an era of television.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right? Like, it's all so good.
Yeah. You, so actually that kind of feeds into what you were saying before about...
children and adult things. Why
children
can't I
things and
order
adult
some
things.
fucking chicken nuggets as an adult? And because I brought this up, Kyle and Dan highly judged me because I don't want to say I prefer, but sometimes I prefer. I'm not a big sauce guy. So I'll eat a lot of chicken nuggets plain.
Oh.
Yeah, and I get highly judged for that as well. I feel like a chicken nugget isn't a vessel for sauce, where like a tortilla chip is so plain. It's a vessel for something. You need some queso, you need some salsa, you need some something. Where chicken nuggets, fucking fried, breaded, like it's already got a lot of shit going on. And sure, some suck and they're dry.
Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if it's dry as shit, that's the same as steak to me.
Yeah.
Like if the steak's good, you're not dumping A1 on it. You take A1 to a nice steak place, you're a piece of shit.
Well, if you think that kid food is looked down on, A1 steak sauce totally looked down on.
Yeah, I think I was raised with A1 because Dad just bought cheap steaks. Because he likes steak, but it's not like he's going to buy his filet every day. I'm a fucking 8. You know, we have a family of 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he just buy cheap-ass steak. That was probably gross. So we A1'd it up a little bit.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I will spend not very much money on a top sirloin.
Yeah.
You know, just a couple bucks, whatever.
Yeah.
And I can make that. It's like, you should cook it right.
Yeah. I like A1. A little vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, like the sort of the secret to taste is getting an acid into your food.
Oh.
You know, salt,
Yeah.
fat, acid, heat. That acid thing is important.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just brings out the extra flavor stuff that
And
you
that's
don't
all
get
A1
otherwise.
is, yeah. It's just a bunch of fucking vinegar.
I think. I don't know what's in
Yeah.
A1 sauce. That's a good
I think it's
question.
fucking vinegar and what's the main shit in like barbecue sauce? The brown
Molasses?
shit. Yeah, molasses. I think it's like molasses and vinegar. I may be wrong. Because that got a bad rap too. And I agree, if you're fucking eating, you know, ribeye or like a decent steak, puree, vinegar, corn syrup.
Vinegar, sugar,
Yeah.
salt,
Basics.
raisin paste, which is back to
Yeah.
sugar, crushed orange puree, back to sugar, spice.
Which is crazy though, because it doesn't have many calories really.
no.
So these are all like minor acids.
Yeah, they're just just enough, you know. Dried garlic.
It's
which
got
makes sense.
less calories than ketchup.
Yeah. Caramel color, dried onions, potassium sorbate to preserve freshness, xanthan gum to, I guess, give it thickness, and celery seed because why not?
But yeah, same with nuggets. Just get a good nugget. Don't put anything on it. I use ketchup on my nuggets too. That might get me judged as well. I'm not.
I feel like that's okay. I'm not a huge sauce person either. I'm also not a huge salad dressing person, but just enough of
Sure.
a sauce. Although my I wouldn't call salsa verde a sauce exactly, although it kind of is supposed to. Yeah, well, it's just a condiment, just because it's chopped up stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Like
So-
raw tomato.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel like, or salsa technically should be a sauce, but it's
Sure.
we don't think about it that way. But particularly because it's fresh and
Yeah, hopefully.
not necessarily cooked
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bunch or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a million ingredients into some kind of liquid. I don't know. I just don't know. And maybe it's less. Even the boneless wing thing. Like, you get hard judged for boneless wings. Like, fuck you. I think they're better.
Well, I don't like wings that much anyway.
Really? And
Yeah, and I particularly don't like chicken with bones very much either.
I don't like chicken breasts with bones and shit. It gets too complicated.
That's a lot, but I'm not a big fan of drumsticks or
Yeah.
wings or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just thighs, maybe thighs a little bit, but still, I don't want to have to pick my chicken up for the most part. I don't like shit on my hands.
Yeah. You got to be in the right place at the right time. That's another argument, though, for boneless wings. You just fork those things.
Yeah, exactly. They're not really wings, but yeah.
Yeah.
they're-
Yeah, see, I don't even care. I call it a nuggie. Yeah, I'll just call it a nuggie. I don't give a fuck.
To me, it kind of depends on what they're breaded in, and if that breading is good, then maybe.
Chicago Fire down here. Insane boneless wings.
Yeah.
Highly underrated. No one talks about that place. It's a local pizza chain. I grew up with the family, and their pizza's pretty solid, really solid. If you're into deep dish stuff, and that's the other thing. People get so uptight. I just like pizza. I'll fucking eat it all. But their boneless wings are
Mhm.
highly underrated. Not a lot of people talk about them.
Yeah, I'm fine with wings, but I'm not a big fan of them. But we were hanging out with David So
Yeah,
and a Barbell Brigade crew
the food guy himself.
the other night, and he'd ordered wings, and he was like gnawing on the ends of them. I'm like, I'd not seen that before.
Yeah, people go in. Some people eat the bone.
Yeah, I can't see that either.
Yeah.
Not me. That
No,
would not
not
be
me
me.
either. I mean, I'll eat a bone in. I'll eat it all. I mean, the big difference too, a lot of times, is that boneless are often breaded, so they
Right.
really are a nugget, which I love. I love a strip. But why can't an adult like some mac and cheese and some fucking nuggets? Like, you're just not supposed to eat delicious things once you turn 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that societal norm. Like, you can eat ice cream as an adult and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But you can't eat a chicken fucking nugget for lunch?
So you can get sprinkles on your ice cream.
I don't know.
cone
I get
when you're
judged too.
lunch.
My Cold Stone
Yeah,
order,
yeah,
I'll throw some gummy bears in there. I get a little judged for that one. I
I
like
don't
the
underst-
texture.
You know what somebody was saying the other day about chocolate in ice cream?
Yeah.
Particularly like dark chocolate bits or chocolate chips
Yeah.
or like Reese's cups, pieces of Reese's cups, whatever. Chocolate doesn't taste like anything when it's cold.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's
it's a lot
gotta-
less chocolate.
It's got to kind of melt in your mouth for it to be
Yeah.
worthwhile.
Well, I've told you here, I don't know what the feeling is. I wish I could describe it better, but certain things like fuck me up. They get not like brain freeze, but they make me feel like sick. And it's like chocolate ice cream with chocolate shit in it.
Oh, it's a little too much?
It's not like too much. Like, I can eat the fuck out of it because I'm just like ice cream, but like it gives me like a weird like a spiritual feeling, like a spiritual emptiness. But
I don't understand that, but
no, I can't describe it. I forgot the other one. Oh, the New Orleans coffee. What's in that thing?
Chicory.
That's what I told you about before.
Yeah,
When I
it's-
drink that, I get the same feeling. I don't know what it is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's it's chicory's bitter.
Right. Yeah, but chocolate isn't always, because it could be milk chocolate in milk chocolate ice cream, whatever, and I still get this like feeling like, ugh.
One of the best chocolate ice creams I've ever had was a company from the Bay Area called Double Rainbow. They do
I think I've heard of them.
they do a semi-sweet chocolate, so it's not
blast your face off.
Yeah, it's literally like semi-sweet chocolate chips. It tastes like ice cream made of chocolate chips. It's amazing.
I like that shit in vanilla ice cream. I like a
Yeah.
plain vanilla ice cream with some pizzazz.
Yeah, vanilla ice cream, chocolate sauce,
Yeah.
peanuts,
Yeah.
or peanut butter.
Yeah. Yeah, the Reese's, the chocolate. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck. The vanilla spruced it up. You've had Devil May Cry yet or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's one of the best ice creams, honestly. And I hype it up. And sometimes when you hype shit up and then you go back, you're like, all right, it was okay. I go back and I'm like, this is pretty fucking good.
It's good.
It's
really
pretty
good.
fucking good.
Yeah. We're blessed to have it here nearby us. My friend Toby on the chat saying that boneless wings over regular wings.
Stay young, Toby. I want to make like I think it's already been done, but like a Lost Boys Neverland like reference, you know? Just like to stay young forever and have fun and be yourself and laugh and be a kid. Although I'm fucking gonna be 34 next year, you know. But then like I've heard there's like creepy stuff there. Yeah, there's like some creepy backstory people think with Peter Pan. And
I know it. Yeah, there's a lot of,
so then you don't like
stuff,
to do, you know, so then you don't like to do that.
And I understand what you're saying, but yeah. But really though, like there are a lot of things that I enjoy eating now as an adult.
Yeah.
I'm deep into the adulthood at this point.
Yeah.
I'm coming out toward the other side of adulthood, toward oldness, and there are a lot of things that I enjoyed that are very complex that I would not have enjoyed eating when I was a kid.
For sure. I forced myself to like coffee because I did keto when I'm fucking 18 or 19 and didn't know what else to do, so you drink coffee in the morning. And then eventually now I love it. Same with red wine. Go red wine, tasting a couple times, you try it. I'm like, now I actually do enjoy it, but some of it you kind of have to dive in, I feel like.
Yeah.
If you just drink a red wine once, you're never going to like it. And you're not going to like, if you don't drink it all in your 20s and you just have it in your 30s, you're not going to all of a sudden be like, oh, this was great.
Yeah, I took it into my 20s to get into coffee, and wine wasn't any good that I could afford for a long time. Like, you know, everybody drank Blue Nun if they drank wine.
Yeah, I remember going to college parties and they're drinking like box wine and shit. I'm not doing all that. Or like shit white wine. I'm not really into it. But like an okay red wine, I'll get down.
Yeah. No. So the thing I was thinking about, because we have some things stacked up for future episodes, but we're not there yet, and we haven't had time to record those as yet. And probably starting next week, we'll start knocking those out. One of the things I wanted to talk about relative to those coming episodes, though, is about heroes and hero worship. And
icons,
yeah,
celebrities,
yeah,
parents is like everyone's default.
Yeah. And part of it was that Toby, who's on the chat here, sent me the thing saying that Chuck Vogelpool, somebody who, you know, a powerlifting icon. So a lot of people definitely hero worshipped that guy back in the geared powerlifting years, you know, when gear was king, is on Instagram now, and I can't actually confirm that that's really him on Instagram. What I'm hearing is that somebody else is running the account for him. But you know, I never really hero worshipped the guy. I met him a couple times, very quiet. Nothing against him.
Yeah. Or Arnold, right? How many athletes did we interview over the last decade, and we're always talking about their, you know, quote unquote origin stories,
right?
And everyone says like, yeah, Arnold pumping iron, yeah, Ferrigno, yeah, this guy made me want to lift, or I saw Bo Jackson and he was jacked and he's running, he made me want to lift. I don't think I think I've forced myself to have like heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had somebody on my wall.
Yeah.
Like I was super into basketball, so like I collected Jordan's cards and I like watched him and I like liked it, but like I never like I didn't choose the number 23. You know, like people do everything about it. Like when you get your first jersey in 4th grade basketball, you go to number 23. I never did that. Like I never was so in. And then even now when I like joke or shit I'm really into, like really into Star Wars, I kind of like force myself to like a character. Like I like Darth Maul a lot. He's like different. He's only in one movie. He's kind of a badass. Fight scene's sick. You know, but it's not like a fuck.
Yeah.
Or like anyone. Or musicians or like no one's like just screamed at me. Like people get tattoos of people's faces on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
routinely. There's not a single person, and tons of people inspire me in a way, or like I respect the fuck out of their work, or like listen to their music religiously and like spiritually and like really into it, and I love knowing about things. Mm-hmm. And I love knowing about people and their history and what got him into that or what he did before that, you know. I love all that, but no one's like definitely not getting tatted on me. or if I'm writing like a book or something, I'm not, or like a college essays, typical thing like who inspired you? Who's your hero? Like
right.
None of them.
Yeah. Now I will freely admit to having a Star Wars tattoo, and the meaning behind that Star Wars tattoo, I got it after Carrie Fisher died.
Yeah.
And it's because she played Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Not that I was the biggest Princess Leia fan in the world, but Carrie Fisher was kind of like, fuck you to the world a lot. You know? I mean, she spent a lot of time being an iconoclast, and that is super fun. She unfortunately died of, drugs on an airplane, which is not something to emulate, which is another issue that we'll talk about relative to heroes. Not because she was a hero to me, but because she did things that were inspirational to me about
her character.
Screw convention, whatever. And I aspire to be more like that. I'm not necessarily that person.
But maybe that's why he's your hero. Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense. Speaking of like modern day heroes, I think it's actually kind of cooler. I think Charles Barkley was semi-recently quoted at it, and I swear I've mentioned it before too, but like if you're like a celebrity that's social media active, or especially athletes, because they tend to be a little bit more social media active because they get sponsorships and shit, rather than like a lot of celebrities don't, unless they really dive into the business world. And there's like no scandal about you. Like maybe they have really good PR, or like truth is like maybe LeBron James is a good dude.
Yeah, and maybe there isn't anything dark at the center of that, or
you know, like imagine the 80s and 90s, or like Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, who knows? But the dude supposedly fucked 10,000 women. You know,
I thought it was 20.
Yeah,
but,
or what? And you're like,
it's a lot.
If that's on Instagram, you know, like if it's Instagram, or it's over.
Yeah,
like dude's done. Like LeBron's just kicking it with his kids,
right?
Hanging out with his wife, who he's met in high school.
Yeah,
like it's pretty crazy. And so like, because everyone always just say, even when I was growing up, like they're not your heroes. You don't know them. You like them playing basketball. You like their music. You like and obviously Michael Jackson and all these different R. Kelly and all these different huge musicians have questionable pasts.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then you make them your hero, but what do you really know about them? But maybe in modern day you do know more about the pop culture side of folks.
Yeah, I think you probably do. There isn't, for Christ's sake, FDR got around in a wheelchair, and they kept that out of the news.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Kennedy screwed anything that walks flies or draws flies. That
a lot of people say that's just the president gig, like that's part of being the president.
In a particular era, I think that's probably true.
No, up into the 90s, we were still rocking it.
Yeah. There's a whole series about that now, about Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. I'm sure.
But I've heard that, and same with like joking but not joking. You hear about like what's part of you wanting to go to the NBA, like riches, cars, women are gonna want you.
Yeah,
maybe part of the gig being a president.
Maybe so. I mean, just like I don't think it's the main driver, but it does have something to do with
That's a long stretch just to get
power.
laid, right?
Well, hey, some people.
One in 300 million. That's a big push to go get a girlfriend.
Yeah, seriously. Side piece, whatever.
Yeah.
The
other idea I had, and this may like wrinkle feathers of like heroes, because I don't think I have one. Honestly, I think two things. One, I think it probably is my parents, and maybe I'm naive still. I'm 33. But they have like or they say like whatever age it is, maybe it's 18 to like 25 typically, where you realize your parents are human. Yeah, like you see their flaws or whatever. I think I just like I've always kind of seen my parents' flaws, or it was like a slower transition rather than a shock. Like some people have shock and then they stop talking to their parents, or they realize like, oh, my mom's a piece of shit, and they fight and they move out or whatever.
Right.
I never like had that because I think I was around my parents a shit ton, around them at work because my mom worked in my school, and so like I kind of saw and felt it all, I think, and so like they're probably still my hero. Not that they're perfect by any means, but I've just always kind of known that, I think.
Yeah.
Where you ask a 15-year-old, and like, who's your hero? Like, my dad. And then you ask a 25-year-old, like, they might not say their dad. Some would, but some wouldn't.
As a parent, I can tell you, too, that it flips around, too, when you realize that your kids have characteristics and skills and abilities that you do not.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they're a real human.
Yeah,
not just a kid.
Yeah. I mean, I think I didn't really understand the extent to which my parents were human until I was in my early 20s.
Yeah, that's what I think most people do.
And just because of the dynamics of our family, and my sister's younger, considerably younger, and she was adopted, and there was a lot of it's emotionally charged to adopt a child, and particularly to adopt a child whose birth mother was a drug addict, and then you're not told that, and it's a lot. It was a lot for them, and I didn't really understand until later, that they were not up to that challenge. Yeah. It was a lot.
Something like that probably isn't something you're repeating. So like how do you even know if you're up to the challenge until you do it?
Yeah.
And now you're fucked.
Right. Yeah. You don't have
to figure it out.
Yeah,
even parenting is like that to me.
Yeah. I was no prep for what went on there. But like going back, I think about the fact that when she started to become more difficult to parent, control, whatever, at like 2 or 3 years old, like that's kind of when my childhood sort of ended, because it was, well, we're all in this together kind of scenario, and that's that's not entirely fair, and I think that happens in a lot of situations with in families where one kid is considerably more demanding of the parent's attention.
I was gonna say, even if it's less extreme than that example, they could both be blood related, and one just is difficult.
Yeah. And I think that that's another one of those situations where your heroes can be fallible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. They don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, I think that's something too. Whether it's video games or obviously movies, Marvel and DC and all this shit, or celebrities. Like, you do one heroic thing, are you a hero?
No, but you did a heroic thing.
Yeah,
it's like,
but I don't think people, like, society sees it that way.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, they just say hero.
Yeah,
even though who knows what's in there? Skeletons.
We were.
I would rather be, let's say, 0, you're a piece of shit. 10, you're an angel. 5's the average human who makes mistakes and does good. I'd rather be a 6 my whole life than be a 4 or 5 and do like 1 9 thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just kind of always be good.
Keep your average up as opposed to having a big.
I haven't saved a lady out of a car, but I try to be nice to every human I come across with for the last 33 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that is what society needs.
Yeah.
You don't need one person to be a fucking run into a burning building and then go beat his wife every night. If everyone's that, we're all fucked.
Right. No, I agree.
No offense to my firefighters out there.
We were talking about. We'll get there.
Because there's a lot of it, right?
That's on my list.
Military's in my brain, where we're headed. Police, fire.
Yeah,
those are kind of the main. When you brought up the question to me, I thought parents, like what the world thinks: celebrities, athletes, parents, and then military, fire, police. That's where like all heads go, or at least my head goes. Where my head goes, where I think other heads go.
Yeah. We were talking about Star Wars, and Star Wars is known for, in the people who think of film as literature, as being a representation of the hero's journey.
Yeah. Like the most basic.
Yeah, the whole Campbell hero's journey, hero of 1,000 faces, whatever, with 1,000 faces. There's a lot of breakdown about how that works. I was listening to the book Building a Story Brand the other day, and they talk about how like almost every movie, almost every TV show, whatever, follows that same kind of formula.
Yeah.
In one way or another, and when they subvert it, it goes wrong. I would disagree with that part, but we do have expectations about how stories are going to play out. And
right.
And if you just, I'm not gonna quote chapter and verse of Joseph Campbell here, but you can get it. You can just Google it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Sometimes filmmakers do subvert that, and they do it well. You have anti-heroes that we didn't have before. I just started watching this show called Modern Love on was this on Amazon, and it's like the stories don't end, which drives me insane.
Yeah,
and it's an anthology, so and it never picks back up. Like, how do you cope with that, right?
Yeah, you're expecting a season 2 or at least an episode 2, and there's nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Which, I guess because we're so deep into storytelling, media, movies, or whatever, people are just trying to maybe find new shit to do too. Right? Like, they're just trying to do something off the cuff that hasn't been done.
So it also had me thinking about the fact that I saw the other day that they started doing a podcast for the 20th anniversary of Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
And we were talking before, you haven't watched it, but it's kind of like it's the the quintessential World War II TV series.
Yeah.
For sure. 10 episodes could not possibly be any better.
Is that all it is?
Yeah. Oh. It's only 10 episodes. It's about 11 hours of TV because there's some episodes that are
it probably feels a little bit more like a long movie.
Yeah. HBO, inspired somewhat by, it's a true story, but inspired by the success of Saving Private Ryan, which was...
There's a whole era there.
Largely made up, but not entirely.
There's a whole era there. Like, I feel like all movies kind of do it. Like, obviously, the 2010s were all, like, superhero shit. And, like, before that was, like, alien shit. And kind of late 90s was all, like, military stuff.
Yeah. Well, this debuted September 9th.
Yeah, that's wild.
2001. So, like, right before 9/11.
Yeah.
And I was listening to...
Which is today.
Yeah, I was listening to that podcast. The first episode, the sort of prologue podcast, is with Tom Hanks. And he was talking about the fact that, like, they didn't know if they were going to be able to keep showing it. They showed one episode.
Yeah.
And part of what happened was that there was a demand for it, for the rest of the story, because people wanted to think that there was heroism that was possible in the future. Like we think of those firefighters as having been heroes.
Yeah.
But we weren't in a war to try to fight back against that kind of terrorism.
Yeah.
Yet.
Right.
And people wanted to be inspired by a fairly clear-cut situation where World War II,
it feels way better when it's black and white and there's evil.
Yeah, it was pretty black and white. Now the characters, not all the characters are perfect people, but they're really good soldiers.
Yeah. Their cause is a little more perfect.
And they have a kind of relationship that a lot of us aspire to. You want to have like a closeness with people,
a team,
feeling like shared goals and regardless of if people have their moments of selfishness or being difficult
or
whatever, human whatever, but you want to feel like you're all on the same team, and it just nothing is better than that that I've ever seen. Than
the easiest
Band of Brothers.
I mean, the easiest way, and I learned a lot of this from my high school basketball coach, is just making a common enemy. When you have a common enemy, it's easy to be a team.
Yeah.
Right, and like you just said, World War II is about as black and white as it gets in this world, and so it's kind of easy to team up. Even if I don't like you, like we hate that guy way more. Yeah.
The first episode of Band of Brothers is about their training, and they're sort of the first group of airborne, like first group of airborne, one of the first ones, and their training officer is a fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And he's played by David Schwimmer, who's a character that not everybody loves anyway, and he was like years into Friends already at this point, so he plays a completely unlikable character.
Right.
Like whatever you thought of Ross,
way different.
There's a point at which the character becomes vulnerable, and then that vulnerability is pitiful. You think, oh, this guy's been
softy.
This guy's been an asshole all this time, and largely he's been an asshole because he's afraid.
Yeah. Which I think is most people,
which
is kind of real too.
Yeah.
My controversial-ish take, and maybe it's just up for discussion rather than actually my take, is that like, is heroism a true thing? Again, going I guess to that even military, police, fire, whatever. When your probably main incentive, at least your first incentive, was pay. It's your job.
Yeah.
Right? And can you go beyond your duty? I mean, I guess, right? And again, you do a heroic act, and all of a sudden you're a hero, or I don't know what. It kind of reminds me of like that rant I went on about like discipline. When it's what you like to do, that too. Like if you're a fucking adrenaline junkie,
right,
and you need to jump off a cliff to save somebody, like you want to jump off that cliff. Like inside of you want to jump off that fucking cliff.
Yeah.
So are you a hero all of a sudden, or is it like? And maybe this is just my mind because I don't have like a hero, but like to me, it's like extreme courage and sacrifice. And to me, that means you don't want to do it. That means like I know I'm getting paid six figures and I've been on the streets forever and I'm a firefighter or a cop. This is just what I do. Rather than like this moment I need to do something that I'm highly uncomfortable with, and I really don't want to do this, and I'm going to do this because it's for the greater good.
So the question comes down to, is the job itself enough to classify you as a hero, or do you have to do something heroic on top of that?
Right, or perchance. Yeah, I guess that's the question too, and I have a ton of love and respect for police and fire, but you know, just because you put on a certain jacket and you went through one boot camp, are you now a hero? I don't know. I'm not a fucking hero, and that's why I can critique. I'm not critiquing down. I'm critiquing up.
Yeah,
but
I would tend to say no. I would say that no. I think you have to do something beyond that for most jobs. I mean,
and money. The money thing's weird to me too, right? Like, not that they get paid a ton, but they get paid decent.
They do okay, and part of it
it's a job.
You were hinting at it before. Like, it's a steady job. It's a steady job that some people find themselves willing to do.
Yeah.
You know, first responder. Some people, it's what they're about. You know, it's like that's their whole.
True.
They always wanted to do that. It's something that they feel very strongly about. Other people, it like anything, there's always going to be a normal distribution of the people who are the highest performers and the most motivated, and the people who are the lowest performers and the least motivated. And then there are people in the middle who can perform well without being very well motivated.
A lot of it's like family stuff too, I feel like. Any job, right? Dad was an electrician, I'm an electrician, my son's probably going to be an electrician, but for sure, and like the firefighting, police, military seems to be a very...
Yeah, it's kind of an obvious thing. You know, the other podcast that I did like 10 episodes of, Less Than Obvious, was largely about talking about the decisions that people made that were different than what the obvious thing in front of them, particularly in terms of jobs,
or a big choice that made you go one way. I'm really interested in stuff like that too, because like any difficult thing you go through in life, everyone tells you to like flow with it or trust the process or what is supposed to come.
Yeah.
And like I have no faith, I don't think. I don't like, not like pure destiny, but like people find hope in chaos or create their own hope, and I just can't. Like, I'm just so stuck in the mindset that we're just accumulation of choices. And some choices are harder than other based on habits and needs and comfortability, but like one choice can reverse everything and one choice can reverse everything again. Yeah. You can go 360 or 180 in one choice. Right now, I could write a resignation to you that I'm done with this company, and then my whole life flips upside down. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And is that destiny?
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Is what's supposed to come supposed to come?
Yeah.
But people always say shit like that. And I guess, like you said, some people just always want to be a cop, and they know they're going to be police their whole life. So, like, is that a hard choice? Is that, you know, the money's okay, you know your dad did it, you want to do it, it's just what you know, and then is it heroic to do that because it's what you truly want to do forever? Like, that's, you know?
I think you still have to perform heroic acts. I think.
Yeah.
To me, that's how I feel.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm just bringing up questions because it all kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
And then some circumstance. What if you've been a police officer for 30 years and there's not been any like chaos around you? Maybe it's in you that you're fucking Hercules and you're supposed to be a hero, but like you're just doing routine ass stops all the time.
Yeah.
You're not taking a bullet for someone. You're not doing this, chasing a guy down or whatever. You know what I mean? Does that mean that you're not a hero then?
I think that the heroic thing, when you look at first responders, look at medical people, whatever, I think that the heroic thing is when you see a lot of terrible things and it's difficult to not have it change you. Yeah. But you're still able to perform at a acceptable level or a high level. Yeah. Like, and I think that the exception is those people who are able to perform at a high level over time.
I think over time, like you said, is a big thing. And a big thing for me too, like again, to my reference of like 10 being fucking Superman and 0 being a piece of shit human, like if everyone was just a 6 or 7 every day for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, we'd probably have a better society than if everybody's a 3 or 4 selfish asshole and does one cool thing every 5 years.
Yeah, and going back to Band of Brothers, like when you want to have people around you who are putting their best forward all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
everything kind of down for the cause.
Everything else is it's hard work when you have to motivate people. You know, It makes
Yeah.
it considerably more difficult.
Well, you can't really like, and especially in instances like this, that is like maybe life or death or like a serious ass thing. You can't motivate someone to do something crazy.
No, typically. Well,
You know what I mean?
I think you can. I think you can indoctrinate somebody into doing something crazy.
Maybe
For sure.
But a lot of it too is just
There's
so
a lot of it going on right now.
Sure, but like, I guess, yeah, like in that moment, I still think, yeah, maybe years of training or indoctrination,
Yeah.
something crazy, you would do something, but I don't know. But then then you a hero just because some dude's mind blasted me for 20 years, and so I know there's a grenade, I'm gonna jump on it.
Yeah.
Is that me being a hero? I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know enough about the psychology, but it does interest me because then like yeah, does instinct fight or flight go? And so regardless of training of 20 years or not, if I'm not a hero, I'm bouncing, and if I am a hero, I'm taking that grenade in the gut.
Well, it's funny that you should say that because I was thinking about actually the very beginning of Band of Brothers. They talk about how like one guy talks about how there were X number of 4F people in his town, like 3, I think, who couldn't join and
Couldn't get like drafted.
couldn't get drafted because they had some sort of physical thing that kept them from being able to perform, and they committed suicide because they felt worthless because they couldn't contribute.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Just what a different world, huh?
Yeah, and
Like just talking about like patriotism.
yeah.
Like imagine nowadays. That'll happen, but
it'll
way
happen,
rarely.
but not I think as much as it did.
Yeah.
Then. And it makes me think of Captain America.
Yeah, that's what the grenade thing makes me think
because
of,
like
too.
he tried so hard to and this is obviously not a real person.
Yeah.
but probably reflective of some guys who were trying very hard, to get past their physical limitations to join up because they felt so strongly about the cause.
Right.
A lot of people felt that way after 9/11 20 years ago, and it lingered, for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of kids my age. And
Yeah.
9/11 happened when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah,
And so it was
exactly.
still like 4, 5, 6 years before they could even enroll.
Exactly.
But some of that fire was still there.
And the one of the deciding factors that Steve Rogers became
Right.
Captain America was that he jumped on a
That he actually had the heart.
yeah.
Well, and obviously Marvel and stuff like shows the epitome of that, and they're like story writers that do their research on probably philosophy and psychology and things like that, like what a hero is. And yeah, the first Captain America, they show all that,
Right.
right? Like it's repeated.
Yeah. My
It's like-
favorite hero in all of Marvel, Captain America.
Yeah, he's good.
Without doubt.
And the only issue, like in terms of like what I enjoy as a consumer, is that they make him perfect, right?
Yeah, until Civil War.
Yeah, but even then, like they're not perfect, but you can see both sides of the argument.
Yeah, that's
Like
yeah,
they make
I'm
it a
not
kind of a real argument there, rather than like a Iron Man bad, Captain America good.
I think that the Iron Man argument though is less believable because it's not set up very well.
Maybe. I'm on Team Iron Man.
It's like you just have to believe that he has so much PTSD from what he saw.
Yeah.
That
That he wants to go solo and
Yeah,
free.
yeah. That's
But then you could argue the opposite, right? Because Captain America's been in the military his whole life. He's okay with the U.S. controlling the Avengers.
probably
That the indoctrination or what, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
he has more trust in the government than Tony does.
Yeah,
Which
but,
is all like super realistic to me.
but that's
actually.
not the side he was on though. Remember he
Oh, Tony wanted to go with the military? No.
yeah
Oh, I don't remember.
no it was
Oh, I thought it was opposite.
no once the Hydra thing raised its ugly head. Captain America was like, no, we can't be down with those kinds of restrictions. Remember there was like the Heroes act or whatever it was.
I do.
That was supposed to constrain the Avengers to
Yeah. I don't know why I had them flipped in my head.
yeah. I don't know either, but
Yeah.
that's a good question. I mean, everybody loves Tony Stark because he's got that Carrie Fisher quality. He's like, oh, fuck you, and
he's
fuck
so,
you, and
he's so
fuck you too.
charismatic. Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. So trying to do a little bit of half-assed science here. Picked up this article on Psychology Today talking about the function of heroes. So they identify 5 particular things. The first one is that heroes produce a recently identified emotion called elevation. Recent research suggests that heroes and heroic action may evoke a unique emotional response which this guy at NYU has called elevation. He borrowed the term from Thomas Jefferson, who used the phrase moral elevation to describe the euphoric feeling one gets when reading great literature. So like that, I think about that as being like that's where the inspiration is.
Yeah.
You know, when you see somebody
who you want to be or emulate.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Interesting.
Number 2, heroes heal our psychic wounds, and I think that I'm not going to read this one because I can guess what's up here.
Yeah.
When you see qualities within another person,
Right.
Another character, and they have overcome somehow, you know,
Yeah.
they
the fear or
circumstance or you know whatever
drawback,
right? You know, resilience, strength, whatever.
Yeah.
We look for that.
We still do, right? Like even look at like how the Olympics portrays our athletes.
Right.
It's not about who wins the race. It's about that they were raised in the slums with one parent and drugs, and they went to juvenile hall, and they got out of juvenile hall and set themselves straight with all these drawbacks and found track and field.
Or you look at the Paralympics.
Yeah.
Like it's all those people.
Yeah.
All those people have overcome.
True.
You know, something.
True.
Number 3 was heroes nourish our connections to other people. And that has to do with storytelling. Storytelling is a community building activity for early humans. Just the act of gathering around communal fires to hear stories establish social connections with others. And you know, a lot of hero stories come out of folklore.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of pop culture in general comes out of America now, but I feel like a lot of this ties into like the lack of community in America in general.
Yeah.
You know? Like how many I don't know, because other countries maybe don't quantify or do the same things we do with like mental health. Not like ours is amazing or anything or well looked at by society still. But our mental health is off the Richters, right? Like everyone's fucked. And I wonder if purely that is because we don't have communities.
I think that's probably true.
Like obviously the whole family thing. I heard it's actually getting better. I don't know where I read that stat, but just like family units are getting better. More people are kind of doing dinner together, kind of deal whatever. But the community beyond that's fucked. You go to a school with 20,000 people in high school or college, like that's not a community.
No, and I think that too we've reached a point where there's this ideological tribalism, and it's difficult to have community with people that you fundamentally disagree with about things that are super important to you.
Yeah.
Or you've been told should be super important to you. I don't know.
How wild is that? Our identities are born into or molded into our thoughts that are blue and red, and then our communities are half of the nation.
Yeah.
Right? Rather than my community is, how about my neighbor? So when shit goes down, we actually have each other's back.
Yeah.
Like the Republicans aren't showing up when there's a hacker with an axe outside my community.
Yeah.
But me and my neighbor could fight that dude off.
Yeah.
But it's not like the Republican convention or Democratic convention is going to come and save my ass. Yet that's who I stamp my name on.
Yeah, and that's one of the craziest things about life and the human condition, because there are people that I think of as being basically trash people. Like I know the things that they've done,
sure.
And this isn't political. It's just and they're also not theoretical, but they're people that I've had like real moments of community with.
Yeah.
And some of that is those people are able to be more charismatic,
sure.
And so they appeal to people on that kind of base level. But also, it's possible to share things with people who are and do the right thing with somebody who is a shit person.
Yeah, no one's 100% shit.
No.
There's even on the bell curve of like sociopaths and stuff. They still got to have like 1% okay in them.
Yeah.
Or make 1% decisions that aren't evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, this is not a political conversation. This is just like knowing what people are like. And,
yeah.
and
I just brought that up because of community. And you're right. Like community, because of the internet, our communities are fake and big. Rather than our real community that could actually probably help our mental health.
Yeah.
Actually feeling it. Because you don't feel it. The Republican Party don't care about you besides your vote and your money. The Democratic Party, same thing. I'm not choosing a side. Like, those parties don't care, right? But your neighbor might.
Yeah.
Your neighbor might if you bake them a pie and you have them over for dinner and whatever.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know, I'm going to go to baseball for just a second here. But like, I've been paying a lot of attention to my San Francisco Giants this year because they've been just crushing it. But part of it is they have taken a different approach. And they're very within the course of a season very interested in the individual, and I think that even when they decide they can't use someone anymore, they're not saying it's because you suck or because you're a terrible person or we don't want you around.
You're just not in this pie right now,
just,
this piece.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, you have great skills that don't fit what we're looking for right now, but like, you know, and the way that they have called players up and sent them down is different than what I've seen before.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to communicating that you value another person.
Yeah, and that goes a long way in culture.
Yeah.
And teamwork. And again, it's easy to have a common enemy, and then your contract's up, and all you're worried about is your stats.
Right.
But if you kind of build that culture of family, maybe you'll sacrifice a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's how you get a hometown discount out of a free agent, is by showing them that you have community
and opposite.
with
That's
them.
how you get a player loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Number 4 is heroes show us how to transform our lives, and this is back to Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell believed that heroes undergo a personal transformation during their hero journeys. In every hero story, the hero starts out missing an important quality, usually self-confidence, that's all of us, humility, or a sense that of his or her true purpose in life. To succeed, the hero must recover or discover this quality. Every hero story tells us of a journey toward a vast personal transformation. And I think that's true. That's where you look at yourself and say, well, I'm not who I want to be. How do I get there?
Yeah.
And like every physical transformation story that everybody gets hooked on, like someone-so lost 100 pounds or 150 pounds or 50 pounds or 20 pounds or 300 pounds or whatever, all of us are immediately hooked by those because we know it was hard.
Yeah. I do wonder, though, because so many people, some of that like feeling or thought is so fleeting for so many. Like to actually be introspective and look at yourself and say like, well, I can or I can't do this, or how do I get better at this?
I think a lot of people convince themselves that they can't do something.
Yeah, and just
that
throw
they
it
could
out.
do. I think a lot of people convince themselves that they can do things that don't really.
Yeah, or maybe the opposite of what you said. Some people are like, oh, I could do that if I wanted, but I want ice cream tonight.
Yeah, well, people don't think about the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's easy. It's easy until you have to do it forever.
Yeah.
Dieting's easy till you do it forever. Working out's it's easy to go to the gym once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Working out's not hard. Working out forever is hard.
Yeah.
Being healthy forever is hard.
Right.
Yeah. Working out once isn't that hard.
Yeah. When you want to say fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Number 5 is heroes turn us into heroes ourselves. And I think that's another piece of that inspiration, you know, like, well, here's a person that did a thing. They did the right thing. Now, did they do the right thing every time? No. Yeah. Probably not. They did the right thing in this circumstance that we know about. And it inspires us, and we think maybe we can do the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, it is funny because like with athletes, like that's just such a common thing. Like, oh, I grew up watching so and so I chose his number now. Like, there's guys in the NBA now. There's like pictures, and they were with Kobe when they were like 12, and then they wear Kobe's number now, and they're in the NBA. Like, they were so driven by that. Yeah, I've just never been so driven by one individual, I don't think.
No, I feel you on that point. I don't know.
And maybe it's fake. Maybe it's a story, right? Because once you build your shit up, you need a story to tell. Like, so maybe not fake, but you know what I mean? Maybe it's
a little
embellished.
bit revisionist.
Yeah, maybe they were kind of a Kobe fan, and then they just choose him as his guy or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know. I think that it's that a lot of people don't know where to look for inspiration.
Yeah, and it's hard because then once you grow old or like an adult, even teenage, I think you can see like that person's got so many flaws. Do I actually want to be like that dude? Our podcast probably a year and a half ago, 2 years now, about gamers.
Yeah.
And like clutch players. I feel like a lot of that, you mix a gamer with someone with really good morals and a little bit of selflessness, and then maybe you have a real hero.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And even our psychologist friend kind of said that like some of that is just maybe not generic, but genetic, but like in you. Some of it's just in you.
Who you are.
Yeah, you can kind of train to be a little bit more clutch under pressure, but some of it's just in you.
But well, a lot of it is physiological. You know, what I mean, it's like, what is your heart rate?
Yeah, the fight or flight.
Yeah,
I haven't been in like a ton of real fight or flights. I'm also just don't like conflict.
Well, that's both of us.
Yeah,
actually, I would love conflict. I just don't trust myself to have the restraint sometimes in conflict. So I avoid conflict for fear of what I might say or do.
Yeah, I haven't been around crazy ones. A couple fights or something, I'll try to break them up, but nothing like It's not regular. I don't go out regular. I don't do,
Yeah.
I don't put myself in those situations.
Well, and I'm not saying that in terms of fighting. I'm thinking
just
in terms
life
of
or anything.
life. Yeah. I'm not a fighter.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's another thing too, right? Like heroism often comes down to like a physical thing.
Yeah.
At least when you first think of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I think a lot of heroics are actually not that. Right. Scientists or doctors or some people doing some crazy shit when they need to, but a lot of it in our brain, because it's like more romanticized, it's more exciting when you're pulling a baby out of a burning car than if you're donating your liver to a baby or whatever the fuck.
Right. And I mean, a lot of people hero worship bodybuilders because of they're huge and what they're accomplished or whatever.
See, that stuff never connected with me. I mean, I lifted weights because I played sports and I wanted to be good at sports. Like never once has that ever connected to my brain. Yeah. Like, wow, that person. I know it's hard work. I don't care. I don't want to look like that, and I don't think yeah, I don't know. I just everyone's just a piece of shit. I just want someone to be a good human, And then even still, I probably won't be your fan.
I was driving to Home Depot today on the way here to pick up that light that's halfway installed on the. I've been working in the back room a lot here the last few weeks.
Our sauna.
Anyway, there. We have free sauna, except you can't come in. There was a guy opening the smog places by Home Depot. He was enormous, just a big bodybuilder, and like the whole ego thing around that, I don't understand.
I mean, I don't know. I think
the need to be that large.
I think everyone does something because you're right. I think everyone's self-conscious in some point or has some self-esteem stuff, and everyone tries to fill it doing something. Like I try to fill it probably trying to make people laugh and like me. Yeah. Or entertain and like me, right? Like even in a small group, I'm trying to make someone laugh or someone like me, and that guy decided to get larger than life to make them like him, and someone else went to go and got 3 PhDs to show the world that they're worthy. Yeah. You know what I mean? That, oh, no, you should value me. I went to Stanford or whatever, like everyone kind of just finds their route that fills whatever gap they have in their fucking esteem. Yeah, I would agree with that. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to talk to we're going to talk about a couple of people and talk to one of them hopefully. One who is in my mind like a completely legit hero and somebody that I know very well, and I sort of lived through some of his heroism. And then more recently than that, or more closer to that time period, closer to now, I guess what I'm trying to say, we're going to talk about a couple of people who a lot of people looked up to as heroes. Yeah. For their accomplishments in their relative sports. Yeah, athletics. And it is weird when you think about it, at least when I think about it. And they turned out to be very different than everybody thought. Well, the truth is, too, even with social media, you don't really know how hard someone's working. No. And I think you can get pretty close to the top, if not the top, on pure genetics. And I've said that over a lot of period of time. That ruffles feathers, too, that hard work doesn't beat talent. Yeah. Because if you're it's all hypothetical, right? Because you can't measure work and you can't measure talent necessarily, but say we could. Yeah. The most talented person's always going to win. Yeah. That's just they win. Yeah. And so because if we were all given the exact same athletic ability at birth, then I would probably find more heroes in sports because I knew the effort it took to get there. Oh, okay. Because they started the same base as I did. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a fair point. Right? That's a fair point. We don't know Caitlyn Jenner worked that hard. For all we know. You don't know. I don't know. Yeah, no one knows. Even their trainer could say oh yeah, Caitlyn Jenner's a really hard worker. Compared to what? Compared to who? Yeah. There's probably somebody that trained harder and didn't even get close to the Olympics. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably true. You know what I mean? Yeah. How do you know? How do you measure that? And so that hard work, again, so my point is the overcoming of something crazy is working your fucking dick off for a decade just to go to the Olympics. Uh-huh. The sacrifice there. And then having the presence of mind to be able to perform under those circumstances. Right. That's semi-heroic. But if you're just a talented ass motherfucker, you got what I don't got, and congrats, you won a gold, and you're talking to a microphone. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah. Yeah, it's harder. It's harder. I guess that's the whole thing of me never having a hero in sports. There's people I want to emulate or I'd learn from or I'd like to watch a lot or highly entertaining, but not like hero. Before
put a cap on this one. I just want to encourage people who have or are willing to do like the intro cheap offer on Stars to watch Heels, featuring the wrestling coordination of our friend Luke Hawx, and occasionally, I think he's in one episode that you actually can identify him, and his son PJ is in a bunch. It's Stephen Amell, who was in Arrow as sort of the lead character. It's about a small wrestling promotion in Georgia. It
sounds like it's like Luke's life.
Yeah, exactly. Except he's in Louisiana, and the executive producer was the executive producer of Loki, and the guy who wrote the script for the new Doctor Strange movie that they're about to start shooting. I'm not saying that it's Loki, and I'm also not saying it's Doctor Strange, but
there's some parts.
Yeah, for a family drama, and so far I've enjoyed it a lot, and I have read some reviews of TV writers who said that it just gets deeper and better as it goes along, because it takes a little bit to establish the characters, and the way that they interact with each other as they go forward is particularly affecting, I guess. So anyway, I know Luke was displaced due to the Hurricane Ida, and shout out to him. He's a good dude. And hopefully things will calm down for him. But definitely check out the show that he's on. It's completely worth it.
Ladies and gentlemen, new episode every single Wednesday when we can make it. Appreciate you riding along with us. 3sb.co for all your clothing and gym stuff. And I'm Sal Mike, wherever you want to find me.
I am at DJ McD on all the social media. Follow the show places, 50% Facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. And we'll catch you one day next week, probably Wednesday. Looking like it. Later.